everybody. It is Liz with Liz Art Finds. Today we are here with haul number 64 and an update. I actually met with Kim Folio last week and I posted the video and it was a really fun conversation. I'm so glad I got to meet her and chat, and we could have talked for hours, but it was just a really interesting conversation. So definitely check that out. And the other thing that happened this past week is I had a little pop-up, very short 15-minute live video over on Knickknacks. They did a Fast Friday freight train where everybody just gets 15 minutes. So it's just boom, boom, boom. So I just sold 4 things there, but that was kind of fun. So what sold? So everything, I didn't sell anything on eBay this past week. I've been a little remiss in updating my eBay stuff, so I gotta get to that. But on Knickknacks, I did sell 5 things. I sold 1 thing in the morning before the Fast Friday freight train. This was the Mara mug. I had paid $1.49 for it, and it sold for $21. So I made $16.22 on that, which was fantastic. And that was more than I made in the Fast Friday freight, but it was so fun. I love doing those. So when I put things up for auction, I start them at wholesale price. So basically half of what I would sell them for at retail. And we didn't have a ton of people in the room. So the things I sold basically at wholesale price, which is fine. It's fine. So anyway, and it's good. It moves things along. So I sold my horse on a toilet, and I sold a mug, and I sold now this mug I had bought for myself years ago and just never used. So you probably hadn't seen that one before. And then this was the Wanda Eastman pot, the motto ware. And then this was the little vase that looked like a pear, and the stopper was the stem and the leaves. So those 4 things sold. My total into them was like $17.76. So I had a little high cost of goods on these pieces, especially because that included the mug that I bought for myself at a craft fair. So my sold on it was 36, so basically doubling my money, but after all the fees and everything, my profit was $13.17. So that day I made $30. It's good. If I were working my business full-time, I would be having much better results. So anyway, let's get into this week and all the fun things I found out and about this week. And sometimes I make mistakes, as you guys know. So I picked up a couple things that were not vintage. So the first thing I picked up, I was so excited. I found a pair of macro blade rollerblades with tags, with the little thing still on there, and they did not look like they had been used, especially this one. The other one, little different story, which is so weird. So the other one has a little mark here, which I wasn't able to get out despite trying every possible thing, including OxyClean and 10 zillion other things. Nothing worked. It did still have this, but it also had, which I didn't notice in the store, that mark, and then there's some marks here. Now I did try to cover that. Well, I sanded it a bit so it wasn't as sharp, and I did try to cover it, but it doesn't really, it was just cosmetically, and of course I will let people know about that. But anyway, I've created a story in my head, because I'm creative and I like to do such things, that someone got these for Christmas, and they didn't take the tags off. They just tried them, and they crashed, and they donated them to the thrift store. So that's my thinking on it. I mean, they're not really used that much, but there are little signs of use. So anyway, I picked them up for $14.99. The solds on those range from $30 to $105, with most of them around $65. I think because of that use and that damage, I'm thinking 40, 45, 35, 45. more than $14.99. So I'll try to get those listed within the week or so and see if we can get those moved out. The other thing that was not the smartest thing, I picked them up because they're so pretty. Now this is my style. There are 4 little charcuterie serving boards. Apparently, upon further research, they're Brookstone, and they came with like a little, like a tray thing that like a display stand that they kind of stood in. And with that display stand, new in box, they sold for $25 on resale. They sell for $25. So the 4 of them with the stand on resale used is in the 12 to 14 range. So without the stand, we're probably looking at $8 to $10. I paid $2.99. I'm honestly thinking about keeping these. They're very me. I could use them for serving boards or for cutting boards. And I think they're cool. So I got to think about whether I'm going to list them or whether I'm going to keep them. But at any rate, I paid $2.99 for these 4 really cool boards. So then I found Peggy Carr. So this is a neat one because it's not in the book. So it's a later piece than the book. The book goes up to 2004 and they closed up shop in 2016. So this was created sometime between 2005 and 2016. I don't have an actual date on it. It is a Diane Johnston design. So it has the Peggy Carr and then DCJ. And I think I've mentioned before that all of the Diane Johnston stuff has a hidden letter E in her work for her daughter Emily. So it's always fun when you find something that has the DCJ to find the E. So on this one, I think it's here. So that at least is my guess. There's probably other E's in here somewhere. But she does a lot of the more extravagant designs, you know, the more complicated designs. It looks like there's an E here too, sort of, kind of. Anywho, it's always fun to look through the designs and try to find the hidden E in all of the Diane Johnston pieces from Peggy Carr. And how do you know it's Diane Johnston? So the later pieces will say P Carr or PKG for Peggy Carr Glass. And then after it, it says DCJ, and that is Diane Johnston's work. So anyway, fun little piece. I paid 99 cents for it. You know, these things are always underpriced, which is so amazing. And this one would sell probably in the 12 to 18 range. I wrote 12 to 24 plus. I couldn't find this exact piece, so I was just going off things in that size. But always exciting to find Peggy Carr out in the wild. Then I picked up this little porcelain ring holder. It is, it's not going to focus. I think it says GDR 1877 crown, so I think it's from England. Just really pretty. I think it's transfer wear. I never did look at it up close to try to determine. Let's see if we can figure that out. Hang on. You know, it's hard to tell. With a transfer wear, you see dots, like little pixel dots. This actually looks like it's hand painted. So I take it back because you see the brush strokes. So this is a hand painted porcelain ring holder. And I paid 99 cents for it. They sell 8 to 15. So that was a fun one. And I found this little Peru trinket box. So it's got the sun and the moon on the lid. It's ceramic. It is not signed. It's got the designs all the way around, the little llamas or alpacas. I just thought this was a really pretty piece. Oops, this way. So I paid $1.99 for this one, and they sell in the 12 to 18 range. Trinket boxes tend to do pretty well these days because you can use them for anything. So that was a fun find. And then the last one I found in that stop, this was on the 24th, is this slate, this painted slate. And I picked it up because I liked it. It's painted on slate, okay, which is a rock. I used to use them for roof tiles. I'm not sure if they still do or not. And it's signed CA. I have not been able to find that artist or who painted this, but it looks like something that someone would have purchased at a craft show or an art fair in the area. So, and I'm not sure how old this is. The little sinew, the leather that's holding it up does seem old. It's got a little bit of wear there. So it's, you know, it's a little crunchy. So it does indicate to me that this is a little older, but I couldn't tell you how old. It's also hard to get a value on something like that. I paid $2.99 for it. I would value it somewhere in the 14 to 28 range, because if you look up painted slate, they're basically anywhere and everywhere in that range. And of course, some higher. Just depends who the artist is. It depends on how complex the design is, and of course, who is doing the purchasing. So the next stop, I picked up 3 things. The first one, I just picked it up because it was 99 cents. This is, and it's still in a plastic sleeve. It is an embroidered silk, I can't really call it a painting, but it looks like a painting. It is Vietnamese, and it's called Tron Tu Tay, I believe. And I think that's the area, not the artist. There's a lot of stuff out there talking about the Tron Tu Tay region. I could be wrong. So if someone knows different, please let me know. And this just says traditional village, handmade embroidery pictures. And these, of course, range all over the place. I found one sold for $14.95. It doesn't seem to have a very high resale or sell-through rate. There are a bunch listed and not a bunch sold. And the listeds are mostly $30 to $45, and the one that sold was $14.95. So I think if I list this in the 15 area, 15 to 18, it'll be lower than all the other listeds. But I just thought it was beautiful, and the fact that it's still brand new and in its protective sleeve for 99 cents, I thought I'd pick it up because I thought it was really pretty. The other thing I picked up, and this is kind of the opposite thing, it's got a good sell-through, and it's not that great. It's Family Bingo, but new, completely new with its plastic and whatnot. And I paid $1.49 for it because it was 50% off. And many of the solds are in the $14 to $16 range. There's some that sold as low as $8, some sold as high as $20. So for $1.49 and the high sell-through rate, I figured that was worth a pickup. So I picked it up, and then I picked up the one vintage thing from this stop, and this is a trinket box, and this is brass. Now I did clean it. It was really, really gross, so I did polish the brass a little bit. It is a trinket box, and it, oops, almost dropped it. And I've got the starfish and the seahorse and the shell, the scallop shell, and the fish. And the top is enameled in between the brass, and it's just really, really pretty. Now this probably would have had a sticker on it because it is not signed. It's got some use, some wear. It's got some scratches on the bottom from age. But I thought this was really pretty. And when I first looked it up, I did find things like it. When I was researching it for the video, I did not. So I'm not 100% sure. I paid $3.99 for it. It should be in the 12 to 15 range, possibly higher. It might even go up to 18 or more because it is brass and it is kind of awesome. So that was fun. Then I went over to Savers and I picked up a couple things, and then they brought out a new cart and I got 2 things off the cart. So that was cool. So the things I got before the cart, I picked up this art glass swan with the green and the blue. And that is really similar to a turtle I had and something else I had. I've had 2 other pieces with that green and blue on the inside. I have yet to figure out who the maker is. I did, for kicks, go over and look on Temu just to make sure that it was not something that was currently being sold on Temu, and I didn't see anything like this there. So that's a good sign. The bottom is polished, right? So it's good quality glass. I just don't know much about it. So I paid, now at Savers, you pay up a little bit, at least on many things. So I paid too much. I paid $4.49, and that was after my 25% discount because it went on a Thursday. So quick tip, Savers, it's also Unique and Value Village. If they have any of those, they're owned by the same company. In our area, I'm in Northern Virginia, in our area, DC Metro, on Tuesdays, it is senior day. So if you are a senior, you can get 30% off all day, which I am, sadly, or happily for the discount, right? And on Thursdays here, they have a members day. So if you're a member there, you get 25% off everything. Any other day, if you bring a donation, even as small as one item, and you donate it, they give you a coupon for 20% off. Now, I know that's in my region. I can do it immediately. I hand over the thing, they hand me the coupon. In other regions, my mom says up in Rhode Island, you would donate and then they mail you the coupon or email you the coupon for use at a later date. So I'm not really sure how that works everywhere, but just pay attention if you're going to be shopping in, Savers, pay attention to those days where you can get the discounts, and at a minimum, go ahead and donate things to get that 20% off, because they do price high. They do. Anyway, even with my discount, this guy was $4.49, which is too high, right? And I should have left him, but I liked him, so I picked him up. So he's probably worth 12 to 18, I would say. Some go higher, but I think 12 to 18 is reasonable for these glass animals. Unless they're definitely Murano, in which case they can go higher. So anyway, I don't think he is. Maybe he is, I don't know. So anyway, that was fun. Then I found another Fenton birthday bear, who I also paid too much for. However, just like my other one that I have, the pink one, he glows really, really bright green. Okay, like really bright green, like uranium green. So that's a huge selling point. If you get these bears, definitely test them, and put them in your in a little light box that's black. Use your black light, really make it pop and take that photo. That will help with your sales. It will help increase the price. Anyway, these guys, I think they were like 8 to 10 or something like that without showing the glow. And I think if you show the glow, they go higher. So I wrote down 12 to 18 plus. Some of them I think are around 30 with the glow. I think $29.99. I think that's what I told you about my pink one. So this is now the blue one. This is September. This is my birthday month. So it was kind of fun to find. So I paid $4.49 for him. Again, too much, but I should be able to double that pretty easily with the fact that he glows. Then the last thing I picked up before the new cart came out was this Israeli satin glass dish bowl. I thought it was really, really pretty. I thought it was Reuven glass, but when I looked it up online, there's one very, very similar that sold on Worth Point that was Ilanit, and it still had its sticker, and it was ILINIT, I believe, glass, also Israeli, but just a really, really pretty piece. I paid $3.74 for it, and the solds are in the 15 to 18 range on Worth Point. So, and those aren't exact. They're, one of them was oval. They're just slightly different, but I think that's a good range. Then the cart came out, and I got two pieces that I really like. The first piece I picked up was this one, which I recognized right away and grabbed it. Of course, they had it priced really high. This is by Marilyn. I think it's Marilyn Wiley, a Navajo artist, and I believe she retired in 2010. 10. Let me just check my notes. Nope, 2000s. So in the early 2000s, she retired. Her pieces are sought after for their quality and connection to Navajo culture. And just, you know, it's very, very just beautiful work and very recognizable. If you look up Marilyn Wiley, you'll find a lot of her pieces have similar design, different shapes, different sizes, but they're very similar and just gorgeous. So anyway, I paid up. I paid $8.62 for this, and that was with my discount. I think it was $11.49 without the discount, so I got it for $8.62. And these sell 24 to 38 plus, some as high as 60. And I think this one is in such great condition. I think it will do really, really well. So that was exciting. And then the last piece I found, he was just too cute to leave. He's a llama. He's a Peruvian llama. He's actually a bank. Now, he doesn't have a place to get the money back out, so it's the kind that you would have to break to get the money out if you put money in, which is sad. But that would be a way to save stuff and never get it out. Anyway, I just thought he was so cute. He's got little flowers here. Look at the painting on that. Like, the brush strokes are so good. He's so cute. So I picked him up right off the cart, and I paid $5.24 for him. He's worth 12 to 18. So there is one listed currently for 25. I didn't see any solds, but I didn't look super hard. I think 12 to 18 for him is a reasonable amount. It could even be as low as 8 to 12, but I think definitely 12 and maybe a little more. So anyway, that's what I found there. All right, and that I think was that day. And then I went out on the 30th back to Savers. Just thinking, maybe I got all that stuff with the 30% discount rather than 25, the last bit, because I went back on the 30th. I'm pretty sure that was a 25% discount day, but I'm going to have to look at the calendar because I don't remember. Okay, so then I found a really cool pair of bookends. All right, so these are agate. They're dyed blue. So this is banded agate. It is not normally blue when you find it in the wild. These are definitely dyed. My dad, when I was a kid, my dad used to do a lot of rock collecting, and we used to go with him. And then we would go every year up to New Hampshire to the Sunapee Rock Show up at Lake Sunapee every year in the lodge. And I remember the year where they started bringing the dyed agates to the show. It was very obvious. They were purple, they were pink, they were blue. And, you know, all of a sudden, when everything else used to be all natural, you were seeing these vendors that had things in very shocking and non-natural purples and pinks and blues. But they were a big hit. I don't know why. For a purist rock collector, it was kind of like, oof. But people love them. Anyway, that's a little backstory. I found these, and they were $2.39 a piece. It was weird they had them priced separately. So I paid $4.78 for the pair. And these actually sell pretty well. So I'm gonna turn these around so you can see. It's like kind of like a geode, but this one didn't have anything on the inside. So it's just the agate part, and the back is unfinished. And then they're polished on the bottoms and on the sides, and these are used to hold books. They're bookends to prop them up on your shelf so the books don't fall over because they're heavy. Anyway, a pair recently sold for $49. I think that's a little high. Most of them that didn't have like crystals on the inside, like the geode in the middle, are closer to the 28 to 32 range. There was even one as low as 24, but because that one that looked just like this sold for $49, I may start these a little higher and see what happens. I mean, if somebody wants them for $49, that's fantastic. So anyway, they're just really cool. I need to clean them a little bit. I see there's still sticker residue on here, but yeah, that was a fun find. And then I found found a piece of vintage glass. I found this really cool Viking vase. Now this has applied, I don't even know what you call it, but it's basically a design. So the vase itself is blown, right? It's got its little pontil on the bottom. And then they took this ribbon of clear glass and applied it, right? So it's this really fun, it's hard to see, but it's almost like a wave pattern, right? And it's pretty perfect. You know, I mean, it's hard to, whoops, there's the spot. I was going to say, it's pretty hard to get it to be exact, right? So you've got the spacing between them is almost exact. And then you have that one spot where it's a little bit tighter because you gotta finish it off. But it's amazing, right? So Viking Glass Company did these and they sell higher than I would have thought. So most of them that have sold right around $22. There was one that was $15, there was one that was $30, but $22 for this beautiful vase, and I paid up because it was Savers. I paid $7.19 for it. So was that too high? Possibly, but I am collecting things for my next high-end glass show, and this is the lower end of the high end, and I think it's a beautiful piece that people will really appreciate. It's the ruby glass, and it's by Viking, and it's amazing. There's no chips, no cracks, no issues with it. So I did pick that up for $7.19, and you know, it should sell around $22. And then the last one, I'm not sure about. I'm just not sure. So I only paid $4.39 for it. Looks like I missed a spot of sticker residue on this one. I thought this was Israeli glass as well. And I can't say if it is or if it isn't. I'm leaning more toward Teleflora right now. I don't know why. I need to do more research on it. It's satin glass. It's very, very thin glass. And it's got this fun spatter, you know, like the alcohol inks painting on it. It's just really pretty, but I know nothing about it. So I'm going to guess that this is worth $8 to $12. I don't think it has a lot of value, if that. It's probably not worth a whole lot more than what I paid for it, but I don't know. So we're going to try to do a little more research and see if I can figure anything out. But it was just too pretty to leave in the store, so it came home with me. So my total spend for the week was $74.35. Because I paid up for so much stuff, I think the value on everything is closer to $300. So it's more like 4 times on everything, like a 4x return rather than that 6 to 8 to 10 that I really like to have. So yeah, that was all for this week. I appreciate y'all being here and listening. And I didn't have any grand artist information this week because, you know, other than that Marilyn Wiley vase, I really didn't find a lot of unique art pieces. We'll see what we find next week, right? And definitely, if you haven't watched the Kim Folio video, give it a watch. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you'd like to see more like that, because I really loved talking to her, and I really would love to sit down and talk with more artists for these things that I'm finding and learn more about them and their crafts and a little bit about the history of what they've created. So I'm excited, looking forward to doing more of that in 2025. Of course, we'll be here with the hauls. I'm going to try to do occasional shorts and try to build a little more, you know, see where we get. So please like this, thumbs up. Hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Share. Let the world know that we're here. And I look forward to talking to you next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.